Good afternoon. My name is Kent Pearson. I'm chairman and president and CEO of Murchison Minerals. We are developing, our focus project is a high-grade zinc copper project in Saskatchewan, northern Saskatchewan. And I'll just jump right into it. There's our cautionary statements. Just want to sort of walk through some of the highlights of the company and the project. We're focused on this high-grade Brabant McKenzie zinc copper silver project. We own it 100%. We jealously guard our ownership on this. We're trying not to get into the royalty business and give away part of the project just yet. We just released a resource estimate at the beginning of September, another one. It's the second one in the last year that we've done. Fairly robust grades of up to just under 10% zinc equivalent. We believe that the deposit has good potential for expansion, just that alone, resource growth, and ability to convert a lot of inferred into indicated, so upgrade in the categories. We have a large land package. We believe that it's really underexplored. I mean, this is comments from a lot of the technical people we have, but it's a very underexplored land package. We believe this thing has a lot of potential for it to turn into a potential VMS camp or district, and I'll show you the reasons why in a bit. We've been generating, away from the deposit itself, we've been generating drill targets, and that's really been a focus. This is really a story initially when I got started of a VMS deposit that we wanted to build out, and it's morphed into the story of a development of a VMS deposit and the development of what we think could be a potential VMS camp. Excellent proximity to infrastructure, which I'll show you. At the end of June, we had about $1.9 million in cash, down from about $4 million. A lot of that money at the end of December, a lot of the money went basically straight into the ground for a program we did this winter, about 12,000 meters of drilling. Tight capital structure. We've got a great board of directors. You guys can decide whether you think the manager's good after this presentation, but board of directors, J.C. Potvin, Don Johnson, Dave Piper, Denny Arsenault. This basically just a quick overview of the infrastructure in our area. We're a straight shot from Saskatoon up a provincial highway, about 5.5 hours or 2 hours just north of La Ronge on that same highway. Power runs right up alongside that highway, services communities right up in the Athabasca Basin. We believe it has capacity to provide power to any potential production scenario. We're 4 hours from Prince Albert as well, so very close to a lot of service centers, good accommodation, food, fuel availability, grids park. Obviously, lots of lakes in the area, so good access to water. But we don't have a water issue per se. I mean, someone asked us the other day, said, well, you got a lot of lakes, that means you got water problems. But there are open collars on our property that are 10, 11 years old that are not generating water. It's very tight rock. And community support, we are in a First Nations community, and they are all over this project. They want to see this thing move forward. Overall, for the project overview, what you're looking at here is what we've generated probably in the last year and a half of actual work. So the Brabant McKenzie deposit itself is what holds the resource estimate. We got Anomaly D, which is essentially a new discovery, a new sulfide discovery that was generated straight from a geophysics program that we did. The TOM2 and T2 are two high conductivity targets that we have slated to drill this winter. Priority 3, we're basically working that up into a drill target. Main Lake and the McIver Channel showing are sulfide showings. Main Lake is running grades on some samples that we took that would rival what we get at the Brabant McKenzie. We're planning to do more geophysics on that, and then we're looking at potentially doing more of a regional geophysics program on the McIver Channel. I'll just jump into the deposit itself. You're looking at where the Brabant Lake community is there, and then if you just come out and go up north about 1 kilometer, and then go straight where that arrow goes straight into the deposit, that's about another kilometer. So we're basically, the deposit itself is about 1 kilometer off the highway. Great access. I put the Anomaly D in there because really it's just trying to sort of demonstrate that we have good prospects within the vicinity of the deposit, and typically in a VMS environment, you typically start to see sort of clusters of these deposits forming, and that's really what we're focused on the regional scale. The deposit itself, 2 mineralized horizons, upper and lower mineralized horizon, or zones. You're looking at it from the bottom up, so you're looking from the footwall up. Basically, lower mineralized zone is about 800 by 800 in terms of dimensions. This is the geological model. The upper mineralized zone is about 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, dips about 51 degrees, averages 5 to 6 meters in thickness. It pinches and swells. We've got intercepts of up to 18 meters in thicknesses, drill intercepts. This thing comes right to surface. It was a surface discovery. This is the resource estimate. The resource estimate we just put out here, indicating in the indicated about 2.1 million tons, running about almost 10% zinc equivalent. We got another 7.6 million tons, running about 6.3. We're fine with all of that. We had a global number last year that was running about 6 million. When I first got involved, it was 4.5 million tons globally. So we're up to almost 10 million tons on tonnage. Used a 3.5% zinc cutoff. The blue is the inferred resource domain, and the red is the indicated resource domain. Just trying to show you here the quality of our asset. Essentially, amongst our peers, we think grade-wise, this thing ranks very well and favorably. And this has not moved in the various resource estimates that we've either inherited or calculated ourselves. It continues to demonstrate its robustness and grade. This is basically just trying to demonstrate where we think the potential is going forward and any additional drilling we decide to do. This is you're looking at basically the grade shells, both in the upper and the lower mineralized zone. And essentially we see upside potential in the, in sort of infill drilling to try and fill in gaps in the information there. We see upside potential if you draw a boundary around the grade shells, sort of down and away from those grade shells, to try and capture additional grades within the geological model. And then just the geological model itself, we don't believe is fully defined. We think there's still additional potential both down dip and laterally to expand this thing out. I'll just jump into the regional program real quick here. What you're looking at here is the land package we've got. It's about 18 kilometers of strike within the favorable package of geology. It's both sediments and metavolcanics. The stars you see there are what we've identified so far as known mineralized showings on the property, either through MinFile or basically our prospecting work that we've done. The green squiggles and the black boxes that you see on there are either defined, interpreted geophysics anomalies or conductors themselves. So this property has a lot of smoke on it in terms of mineralization and potential for discovery of something in terms of a deposit. That's what we're hoping. What we've done is we've started to prioritize all those showings, and we've come in, and this is what we've generated in the last, say, year or so. Anomaly D was a discovery from geophysics. We drilled it this winter. We hit sulfide mineralization, a lot of pyrrhotite. We were encouraged with that because we've identified this as a new discovery in terms of a system. T2T was generated from a large land survey we did this winter. That's the highest conductivity target we've got on the property, and Tom2 is a close second behind it. Both of those are slated for drilling. Priority 3, we're currently just finishing up a ground survey on that, and hoping to generate some drill targets off that, but we believe that will become a drill target as well. Like I said, Main Lake showing was a sulfide showing that we sampled this year, grades of 11.5% zinc, 1.5% copper. The McIver channel showing was a large sulfide showing identified in previous trenches, about 600 meters of strike. Last work done on that showing, 1968. This slide really basically says it all for us. It's essentially, what I've done is taken and scaled an overlay of what we have in terms of our priority targets and the Brabant-McKenzie deposit over top of a Flin Flon image, an image of the Flin Flon camp. And what we're trying to demonstrate here is that periodicity is similar to what we see in terms of deposits within the Flin Flon camp. And we're really encouraged with that. I mean, we've got a lot of smoke here. We've got one deposit. We believe that there's more on this property, and that's basically where our focus is going to be going forward on the regional scale. This is just basically some of the milestones that we've achieved this year, but at the end of the day, we're going to get our 43101 technical report completed. Out of that will fall next steps primarily for the resource, for the project on the Brabant McKenzie deposit. We plan to get in and start drilling on the regional projects this winter, and then just a continual focus on the regional prospects that we've got to try and work those up into actual targets. On the Brabant McKenzie, we were probably going to be at the point now where we have to start thinking about wrapping some economics around it to see what we've got. Market cap, only about $5 million. We had, like I said, 1.9 at the end of June. Largest shareholder, Don Johnson, at about 31. Rob McEwen is the legacy shareholder, and then management. And that is our story.